All right, so I'm going to get started. People will trickle in. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I'm going to get started with some recognition. Just pull it up really quick. I did want to shout out today. We have Kelsey Connor, Success Club All-Star, Jen Sansone, Success Club All-Star, and Danielle Ream went Success Club 10 All-Star. So that's amazing, guys. Great job. Now for our August Success Club chart, we've got at Success Club 6. It's a long list, and I looked through the names already, guys, so I'm really sorry if I butcher them. They are not easy. So we've got Tyler Cox, Taylor McKechnie, Taylor Kuella, Shayna White-Cavaj, Robin Johnson, Pat Reelman, Nico Paradis, Michelle Katz, Megan Northrup, Megan Jones, Maureen King, Marika Zagula, Marie Sardelli, Mackenzie Taylor, Lindsay White, Leah Hall, Lauren Valancourt, Lauren Hawley, Kelsey Moore, Kelly Bonsor, Kaylin Breetsk. I wonder if I really messed that one up. Sorry. Katie Herron, Kathleen Burke, John Houston, Joelle Scrow, Jenny Dollinger, Jenna Cleversley, Eileen Dunn, Hannah Waples, Diane Amelia Reed, Devin Rovnak, Destiny Osterhout, Delilah Jerome, Courtney Mueller, Beth McDonald, Bailey Adams, Amber Teague Hawkins, Addison Morgan, Tobias Stewart is at 8. So these are the people of 8 now. Sarah Kubiak, Olivia Taylor, Michelle. Somebody just unmuted themselves. Sorry. Michelle, where was I? Humerick, Megan Wortman, Martha Stewart, Maggie Shuak, Mackenzie Chase, Lena Murphy, Kelsey Cole, Caitlin Walsh, Jennifer Ognowski, Craig Brenner, Chelsea Tabai, Anastasia Redding. At Success Club 10, Valerie Nelson, Teresa Keitlinger, Nanea, I'm sorry if I said that really wrong, Dyson, Mackenzie Provenzano, Lindsay Schiff, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt, Kelly Hernandez-Dempsey, Jen Sansone, Jacqueline Sparacino, Gretchen Klobukar, Emily Donovan, Brooke Reed, Autumn Pearson, myself, Andrea Wallace, now we're at Success Club 12, Trish Wise, Lauren Lettieri, Kylie Winay, Christina Tropiano. At Success Club 14, Stephanie Pike, Melissa Weber, Kelly Marks. Did I say 14? Yeah. Kelly Marks, Danielle Ream, Celine Bacardi, Amy Reelman. Success Club 16, Cassie Schmelzinger. Success Club 18, Samantha Benko and Kim Roberts. Success Club 20, Lindsay Redding, Jessica Halfpop. Success Club 22, Steph Estridge. Success Club 24, Bailey Glanzer. Success Club 42, Ashley Feldison. Success Club 48, Michaela Bardulakis. Success Club 50, tied up there, Sydney Thompson and Kate Morgan. Awesome job, guys. All right, so we've got, I know we have Nicole Grafton on our team call tonight. Elite 5-star coach, correct?
Not elite yet. We'll be there.
Oh, well, on your way to elite.
We're on our way.
Awesome. All right, so you're just going to take it away, right?
I am. If you're good to go, I'll tell my story and all of the above.
Yeah, and at the end, we'll leave it open. So if anybody wants to write some stuff in the chat box, any questions you have, we'll leave time for Q&A at the end. All right, okay. Go for it.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much. I know that we're all busy. This time for me, I have 2 boys. They are 5 and 3, and this is like when Satan comes out of them right before bedtime. So if you see them come through the office walls, I have threatened them, but I am Central Time. I know some of you are in different time zones than me, but I appreciate you taking time out of vegging by the TV or time with your spouse or time with your kids to be on here. I will try to keep this short. I hope by the end of today that you understand that you are already a 5-star, 10-star, 15-star coach because you've already done the things, and that you leave and tomorrow morning that you feel like you can get up and do your power hour and really feel like you've been successful in what you're doing. Let me close that. Okay, so first of all, I'm Nicole. I have 2 degrees in music. I started Beachbody 5 years ago on Sunday, actually. My 5-year coach anniversary was Sunday. I was 240 pounds teaching in the great state of Texas. An easy week was about 100 hours a week. I loved my job. I loved teaching band. We had our first kid. I was fat. I didn't know how to be a mom and work full time, and I was running half marathons thinking that I would get thin. My coach reached out to me 5 years ago. I did Chalene Extreme, and I drank Shakeology. We didn't have any of the fancy To Be Mindset. We didn't have any of the fancy containers. And slowly but surely, 10, 20, 30, 40, 75 pounds literally fell off within about 4 or 5 months. My husband started stealing my Shakeology, and I messaged my coach and I said, okay, how do I buy this stuff without having to really pay full price? Because 2 bags of Shakeology is a lot of money, y'all, with a baby. And by that point, I'd quit my job. We had moved states because I realized I wanted to stay home. And I promised my coach that if she showed me how to make $1,000 a month, I would believe her that this wasn't a scam, and that I would be a coach forever. I'm like, if you could just tell me how to make $1,000, we'll be good to go. So it took me about 4 months to build my income up. We bought a house with my coaching income. It's been an incredible ride that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm hoping some of you on here have ridden some bikes. I would not trade giving up my job for coaching for a million years. I will never go back to being 240 pounds. I will never not have my Shakeology. I'm excited every time we have coaching events and things that corporate comes out with. And really, my 5-star success isn't mine. It's because I've recruited a team of people who feel the same way as me. And that is, if I can change my life, I can change somebody else's, but it's more fun to do it together. So tonight's call is called Riding a Bike. Anybody here ridden a bike? Anybody ridden a bike not in a really long time? You haven't stepped on a bike in 20 years? Okay, well, I just want you to think back to the first time you got on your bike. I don't care if it had training wheels or if you crashed after the first 30 seconds. Try to think back the first time you got on a bike. If you were successful at your bike, congratulations. At some point, you learned a skill and you were terrified at the same time. And this is what new coaches do. They learn a skill and they're scared at the same time. And they're successful at this. They're successful at this. I'm going to open chat so I can see what you guys are. I can try to monitor here. So skills as a coach, what are you doing? What are your 5 vital behaviors, right? Talk about posting on social media. You need to, obviously my success came from really belief in the products. I had tried so many other things. And so sharing that was naturally from me. You don't have to have a huge story to be successful in this. You can already be interested in health and nutrition if you add a lot of value on your social media. What are other skills you need as a coach? You've got to have relationships. And y'all, relationships are hard. Relationships are messy. They're not perfect little private messages or DMs on Instagram. You have to be good at your personal fitness. You don't have to be a size 2 and you don't have to have 6-pack abs, but you do have to commit to your fitness. We have a program right now, it's 4 days a week. If you can't do 4 days a week, we've got to work on that skill. At the same time that we're asking you to work on those skills, we're also working on things that are fearful. Any of you have a fear in your coaching business? Anything pop to your mind? What's something scary for you? I know for my team, the very first thing that comes up on my team calls, I'm so scared to invite. It's the first thing. I'm terrified. I'm scared to invite. Or I'm scared to post on social media. I'm scared what at the time, I was a professional band director. I'm scared about what my peers are going to think. Have my master's in music. I'm not a coach. I'm not posting stuff on my coaching page. Fearful of judgment from your peers, fearful of success. I think that holds some of us back too. You don't want to be an Emerald coach because if you're an Emerald coach, you might have to have extra responsibility. Or in my team, I'm fearful of being Diamond because I might have extra responsibility. So those are skills and your fears. Let's talk about what makes the bike go. Okay, so you're on the bike. You're hopefully not falling yet. What makes the bike go? Anybody in here super sciencey? Any of my geeked out people? Okay, I wrote it down here. Inertia, centrifugal forces, gravity, and torque. And then by my notes for this call, I wrote, hashtag, I have no idea, I'm a musician. Hashtag, your new coaches have no idea what it takes to coach. You didn't know. Some of you didn't know, like you just drink the shake because they told you to. You don't know what stuff is in there. You don't know why it's so good. That's the beauty of this, is coaching is just like riding a bike, because riding a bike is simple. You don't have to know all of the things. When you coach, you don't have to know all of the things. To go emerald and diamond, you don't have to know how to lead a huge team. You don't have to know how to get to 5-star. You simply ride your bike. You hold onto the handlebars and you go. Those of you that don't pedal fast enough to keep moving, what happens to the bike if you stop pedaling? Anybody? Like, you have 2 or 3-year-olds that are learning to ride their bike and they like pedal a little bit and then they stop, it falls over. Anybody had that happen in your coaching business? You're pedaling, you got some momentum, your new coaches are excited, they've lost 10 pounds, they do 21-day fix, and then something happens. They have a baby, their husband gets deployed, start a new job, move, something, and they stop pedaling. Okay, it's not hard to start again. It's not hard to tell your 3-year-old to get back up and go. Why is it so hard for us as coaches to just start pedaling again? Start pedaling again. You've already done it. Remember, I told you at the end of this 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or however long it takes, I just want you to know that at some point in your life, I told you, at some point in your life, you have already done the things and been scared at the same time. You've been successful at riding a bike and being totally terrified at the same time. At some point in your coaching, your career, you've done the things. You've sent out the invite. You posted on social media. You've done the things, and you've been terrified at the same time. If you can do it once, you can do it again. Okay, when you first learned to ride the bike, you weren't scared about the science. You didn't know anything about the gravity. You didn't know any of those things. You weren't scared or unsure on like how you would do it. You were just terrified that you were going to fall off and like crash, and your limbs were going to go 5 different ways, and your dad or your mom or whoever was helping you wasn't going to pick you up. Or those of you, if there's anybody on this call that does like real bike stuff, like we're going to talk about in a second. Here's the book. It's called Clip In. Like when you first get on with your training partner and you got your clips in, you're not worried about all the other things. You're like totally convince yourself that you're going to bomb at the end of the driveway or the end of the hill or whatever. Like your clips are going to stay in and your bike's going to fall over and you're going to break a leg. You're thinking about how bad it's going to hurt, and think about like what happens if you fall. Think about that from a coaching perspective. If you recruit a new coach, they're not thinking about what happens when you let go of the seat. They're thinking about what happens at the end of the week when they're 10 pounds back, or when they send out 10 invites and they all say no, or they post something on social media and their boss sees it and says, I don't think it's appropriate for you to post that on social media. They're not thinking about the ease of this and the fun of this. They're just thinking about like worst case catastrophic scenario. But the cool thing is, none of you died from riding your bike the first time. None of you died from riding your bike if you clipped in or did a triathlon or any of those things. And neither do your new coaches, and neither do you. So if you've lost rank, anybody here lost rank? I go between 1 and 11 star depending on the week. Depending on placement, like my limbs didn't fall off. My team didn't like stop. I'm not quitting. I don't have like a bloody knee from it. It's just part of the process. And you got to know that the catastrophic stuff doesn't happen. It just doesn't. You just got to keep going. You got to get through it. It's a learned skill most of us have had help with, and then parts of it that you learn on your own. So I'm do Strengths Finders. I don't know if any of you heard of Strengths Finders, corporate world people. There are 2 books that this calls from. So this is one of them. It's called Strengths-Based Selling. It's from Gallup. Again, I'm a teacher by heart. So like, Don Clifton does your 34 strengths. And he talks about, when I recruit, I don't want to recruit people like me. I want to recruit people that have different strengths than I do. So when I drop it, somebody else is there to pick it up. When they drop it, I'm there to pick it up. So Strengths Finders is really, some of it's innate and some of it that you learn. But your new coaches are the same way. Some of your new coaches are like incredible motivators. They're great on their social media, but they really struggle with the fear from inviting. Or some of you are really great at inviting. You're like, no big deal. Here's my list of hundreds and I'm go. But you really are struggling with the relationship side of like really connecting or opening up and relating and those types of things. Some of the things on your bike, you just got through it because you were good at it. Sometimes you get on your bike and you're like, my oldest son has amazing balance. Like he has fallen. He's never had to use training wheels. He's great. My 3-year-old, I mean, we keep Band-Aids in stock. Like, he just doesn't have the balance. But they both ride their bike, and they're both successful at riding their bike, just like you and I are both successful at coaching, just in different ways. Okay, after you learn to ride, you need to learn how to change the tire. Anybody had a broken tire? I see, like, Patrick's, like, fell off of his bike 1,000 times. Anybody had to learn how to change a tire on a bike? I've changed it once, never again. It was too hard for me to do. Other things that you need to do after you learn to ride your bike. So we're not talking about like your 5-year-old Spider-Man bike anymore. We're talking like, okay, you're going on a bike with your spouse, or you're going to do a triathlon. Like, you got a nice bike, y'all. You have to adjust your handlebars and your seat. And hear me very clearly. I hope that you have lots of team calls with lots of successful coaches, with lots of good nuggets, but you are not me. And you are not those top 10 people on stage. And you are not the coach that's sitting next to you or the coach that's 15 people below you. Your handlebars and your seat fit different. And until you find the fit for you, your conversations are going to feel a little bit awkward. They're going to be a little bit like it just doesn't feel right. It's your job to self-assess. It's your job to figure out, where do I need to adjust my handlebars? Am I sending out too many invites and I'm not following up enough? Or am I not sending any invites at all, but I'm rocking my social media? Why does my business feel uncomfortable? Am I going to fall off if I lower my seat all the way? Probably not, but I'll have like some uncomfortable chafing at the end of it. Like, we get to 5-star awesome, but if it's uncomfortable to get there, like, I don't want to get there again. Like, I want it to be comfortable. I want it to feel like me. And maybe I'm the only one that feels like we chase some of that carrot, but until it really feels like you, until you're real and genuine about where you're coming from and sharing your story and being honest with your followers and really fitting in your bike, you're always going to be wobbly and unbalanced. Does that make sense? Some of you are smiling. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I just got to go to bed. Okay. I just want to make sure that you're hearing me here. Okay, and then the last one is, do I have any like strong emerald diamonds, like some people that have teams? Okay, this one's for you. After we've balanced, you've got a good ride, people are following you, it's great, you've got a good team, you've gone to all of these things, you realize that you have like sprockets loose, or like you've fallen, some of these like really expensive bikes, you've fallen and like it tweaks. It's not something you can fix on the side of the road. What do? You go someplace and have it fixed. Or you call your husband and say, come pick me up. And then you bring your bike to go get it fixed. If you're a leader in this business, you cannot do this by yourself. You cannot open and close challenge groups by yourself. You cannot answer all of your messages by yourself. You cannot lead a team by yourself. You can't do team calls by yourself. That's why I'm on here, because your coach asked for my help. So if you're a leader on here, you've got to really park your bike, figure out where the tweaks are, and ask for help. Ask for some kind of assistance. Get an assistant before you need it. Best advice I got as when I was getting between 2 and 3-star, like, I can't do all the things. I'm failing in all of the things. My sprocket's like completely out, and I'm still like pedaling like a mad woman, trying to get to goals, when I should have just asked for help and had somebody fix it. So if you are leader, I mean, really, as an Emerald coach, you guys, you're a leader. And I would also suggest those of you that are leaders to get this book called Strengths-Based Selling, or just Strengths. It's called Strengths Finders, because when you look at your team, instead of getting frustrated, maybe I'm the only one that does this, but getting frustrated when someone says they want to go 2-star and they don't do the work behind it, or anybody have diamonds, like hit diamond for a hot like 24 hours and then they drop, or someone who says they're going to go emerald and take 16 months to go emerald. You know who I'm talking about. Sometimes it's because their strength is different from yours. And instead of placing my expectations on my team for that, I can then clearly see, oh, her strength is developer. She's going to take 16 months to be an Emerald coach. I'm going to place her accordingly. I'm not going to stress about it. And you know what? Jamie Baker's on my team. She has been on my team forever, and she's going Emerald on Thursday. I have people who tell me they want this business. They have huge financial goals. They recruit 10, 12 coaches in 1 month, and then they absolutely disappear. Oh, well, their strength is called activator. I know I can count on them for a hot second, but they're not going to get us further than that hot second. Does that make sense? So if you're a leader on this team, I just would tell you, just like when you're taking your bike to the shop, you do need other tools in order to get you past just where 1 to 2 star-ish range. Okay, so we've all read bikes. We all have successful businesses. All of you are spending your evening listening to some crazy girl talk about bikes on a team call, and then you clip it. Here's the book called Clip In. This is not about coaching. It's not really all that motivational, but my mother and my spouse are both pastors. And this is a book that we read in church. And instead of reading it for church, this is so crazy. Every time I had church, I crossed out and I put coaching. So this team call came from reading. I was trying to focus and I was like, forget it. This is so much better as a coaching book than as a church book. Joe, the other book is called Strengths-Based Selling. Okay. But this one is by Jim Osier. So some of the things that I'm telling you tonight are in this book. This is not my own that I've made up. So you're going to clip in. Anybody clipped in? Anybody have an awesome bike? Someone in a green t-shirt over here, I can see you. Okay, so in order to clip in on a bike, because some of us don't know, some of us are wait, my bike still has Spider-Man handles and the pom-poms on the side and training rails in the back, right? What is clipping in? Can you tell us what clipping in is? Want to unmute and tell us?
Yeah, so you have the shoes that actually have clips built into the bottom of the shoe, and they clip into the pedal. So you got to clip, and then if you want to get out, you got to turn it sideways and unclip before you fall over with your feet still stuck to the pedals.
Okay, but I only have my workout shoes that I've done with John T. So do those shoes work?
Not if you're trying to clip into the clips.
What do you have to do?
You just pedal without the clips. You don't need the clips to pedal.
Oh, but if we're clipping in, I want you to buy shoes with clips on them, right? Or I want you to attach clips onto your shoes.
True, yeah.
My point is, if you're going to clip into this business, if you're going to hit 2-star, 5-star, 1,000 a week, 3,000 a week, you guys are going to have to make an investment. And sometimes it's monetary. Sometimes it's a couple grand to go to Summit. Sometimes it's signing up your spouse underneath you so that you can really build an income. I did a call last night with a team about building income with volume instead of just based on rank. Sometimes clipping in means I've asked my husband to take care of the kids so that I can be on the call here instead of spending time with the family. Clipping in takes an investment, not necessarily financial, could be time-wise, it can be commitment level, but I'm asking you tonight to look at the things that you need to clip in. And this is a quote, coaching is like a 10-speed bike. Most of us have gears that we never use. Some of you are sitting here as incredible leaders in this business, and you're still in second gear. Or you've climbed a hill, and you've never adjusted your bike, so you're just pedaling, and you're everybody else is passing you by, and you get frustrated, and then you quit. Or your team sees somebody else moving faster than them up a hill because they've shifted gears, and then they quit. Maybe that's just my team, or maybe that's just my comparison. But I feel like coaching is like a 10-speed bike. Most of us never get to use all 10 speeds because we get stuck in our little, oh, this is comfortable. I'm balanced, sort of. I'm not chafing myself because I'm only doing 30 minutes of my power hour instead of really getting it for 2 hours a day, or whatever that is for your business. Clipping in is professional. You don't see people spending a lot of money on their bikes and their clip gear for their feet and then padded. Anybody that when you ride a bike a long time, you have to have padded shorts. No chafing. Okay. Those aren't cheap. Those aren't cheap. Being a professional in my business as a musician, I spent 8 years in college. My flute and piano cost more than most people's cars. It requires an investment. It is a professional job. If you are signed up to coach and this is something that you love, you've got to have a little bit of investment. It's professional. It also takes time to learn the clips, and you have to have consistent, regular practice over the long haul, which I'll finish in just a little bit over that. But long haul, not a month, not till next summit, not, oh, I think I'll make it through September, the long haul. How many of your challengers are oh yeah, I'm going to get to my weight goal during 21-day fix, and then they drop off, and then they come back, and then they come back, because you have to be in it for the long haul. I wish I could say that I lost my 75 pounds and never went back up. I had another baby. That's just life. You've got to be able to look longer than just 3 months ahead of you. Okay, clipping in and riding a bike this way takes the experience to a different level. And I was telling my coach this when we decided to really push for rank. Again, I've been a coach for 5 years. I am not a fast grower. I am a Success Club legend, and I think I've missed it 5 times out of the last 60 months. But my heart is helping people, 3 to 5 to 10 people a month. I don't have huge Success Club numbers. I really want to make sure I'm digging in with where I am. To build us to the next level, I had to ratchet up to the next level. What worked to get me to Diamond did not work to get me to 2-star. And what got me and the team to 2-star did not get us to 5-star. And here's the other thing that's really hard for me, because relationships are important to me. The people that got me to Diamond did not get me to 2-star. Did you hear me on that? This business is a business of attrition. The people that got me to Diamond that first 4 months did not get me to 2-star. And my 2 diamonds, that was not as my spouse account, it was actually 2 other working coaches that got me to 2-star, did not get us to 5. This business is a business of attrition. And in order to ratchet up, I had to invite a little bit more. I had to spend a little bit more time in the morning, a little bit time in the afternoons. I had to really work on my fitness journey again. I had to really reassess what I was doing with my social media. But just like buying a clip-in bike, I had to ratchet up my commitment to get to 5-star. However, when you are clipped in, when you are professional, when you have made the investment, when you are doing the things that you love and that work for you in this business, and you have surrounded yourself with a tribe of people who have different strengths than you are way more powerful. I don't care what your rank is. You are way more powerful and way more efficient and have way more momentum than you would have if you were just pedaling a bike. There is a reason that we have clip-in shoes. There is a reason that those bikes cost thousands of dollars, and that some of the super tight shirts they wear to race for biking are expensive. It helps them go faster. It helps them be more efficient. And I don't know about you, but I love going further with less effort. It's a lot of effort at the beginning. Your new coaches need to know it's a lot of effort at the beginning. You need to know your new coaches require a lot of effort at the beginning. But wait 5 years, wait 10 years, and see what that effort does. Wake up in the morning and go, oh, hey, I made $3,000 in cycle bonus this week. What did you do for that? Nothing. I clipped in 3 years ago, right? How nice would that be? Some of you are like, I'd like to make $300 a month. You know what you do? You build a team, and you wait 4 months or 5 months, and you open your back office, and you're like, dang, I paid for 2 bags of Shakeology with my cycle bonus this month. I'm like, I know, because you invested in a spouse account, and you drained volume that way. Is there a risk? Is there a risk signing up your spouse? Is there a risk taking time away from your Netflix show or your brand new baby or your husband's new job? Absolutely. But I'm sitting here 5 years later telling you the reward is worth every freaking thing. I cannot tell you enough. I would buy 1 million bikes for everybody in the network, 400,000, however many coaches there are, if it would make you guys clip in and work, because the risk is absolutely worth the reward. And not a single thing in your life that's worth having doesn't have a risk. Those of you mamas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pregnancy is amazing, also super risky. Anybody married? Marriage is amazing, also super risky, and a lot of work. Okay, this is a quote from Francis Willard. He says, on riding a bike, I finally concluded that all failure was from a wobbling will rather than a wobbling wheel. Your bike is fine. The business is fine. Energize is fine. Lift 4 is fine. We don't have deficits in our product line that we need to work on. Your bike is fine. It's your wobbling will. It's your fear that you haven't done this before. And like I said 20 minutes ago, my prayer for you is that you've learned how to ride a bike. You've been scared out of your mind and learned a skill at the same time. You can do it again. You can do it again. And you can teach your coaches how to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to conclude with this. It never gets easier. You just go faster. Anybody know who that's from? Never gets easier. You just go faster. Leo Tolstoy. So if you're going down a cliff, whatever hill, and really just a flat road, if those of you that ride bikes, We used to before we moved up to Tulsa. I used to live in Houston. Anybody central? It never gets easier. You just go faster. Putting on those padded shorts never got easier. Going 20 miles, going 50 miles, going 100 miles doesn't get easier. We just got faster to do it. Same with our fitness journey. Same with our coaching journey. You have to have endurance in anything that you do that's worthwhile. And I feel like this season that Beachbody is in, we talk a lot about this not being a microwave business. You guys, you can't stick a challenge pack in a microwave and expect to be 5-star. You can't send out 100 invites in 1 week and expect to build your team and have disposable income. You can't expect to plug in 21 Day Fix one time and have like the body of Autumn. Like, you have to have endurance. You have to be willing to work, and you have to be willing to adjust your handlebars so that you know that you can get to the end of the cul-de-sac or the end of the road without splaying yourself on the carpet and having road rash all over you. So my prayer to you is be here a year minimum. If you feel like that statement right there is like, oh my God, I can't be here in a year, reach out to your coach and figure out what that fear is. And then you need to attack that with the skill at the same time. So if the fear is inviting, then maybe you need some coaching on inviting. Like maybe you need to learn the inviting skill and do the thing at the same time. Stop worrying about the 15,000 other things that you have to do as a coach. If your social media sucks, if your relationship and your connectingness on social media sucks, there are, I don't even know, go look on Google, 1 billion people that can help you with your social media. Pay $30, clip in, pay $30, get your social media stuff. Be afraid, because I was, to post on social media. Anybody still have a private account? Anybody like not public private account? I was terrified. I was so terrified to move my account to public on both accounts, on my Facebook and my Instagram. Like, just do the thing. I was fearful, and then I fixed my social media at the same time. You've already done it once. You've already ridden your bike once. You can do it again. That's all I got for you guys. That's all I got. I hope it helped.
I thought that was amazing. I feel like everything you said completely like related to me, and I think everybody on this team. Guys, if you guys have some questions, you can post them in the chat. I used to block anyone that started following me that I didn't know.
Or honestly, if you want to unmute yourself, that's fine too. There's only 50 of us on here. It's not crazy busy. My kids are still screaming.
What's your best advice for somebody who's struggling with motivation? I have a few people right now that, self-included, full disclosure, are struggling with motivation with it having been kind of a tough month.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's another thing that you have to realize. How long have you been coaching?
Actively since January.
Okay, so are you a parent or are you married?
I am married and I have fur babies.
Okay, so you're married. That says enough. And you've dated probably before that. Just like there are seasons in our marriage that are like amazing, sex all the time, money's flowing, careers are great, and then you like hit a lull. You're like, who are you? You wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my God, your breath again. Or for us was the toothpaste. I like lost my mind over the toothpaste. Same with coaching. There will be seasons that it is like, I cannot believe that I lost 75 pounds. I cannot believe that we have hit 1 star. I cannot believe that my first business center income is as much this week as it was in a month last year. And then there are seasons in your coaching business where you lose 3 or 4 or 7 diamonds, where you lose all your emeralds the same week. Third and fourth quarter, when you haven't dug and planted enough seeds and like had enough momentum, the first and second quarter, when it like dies down, this is the part of the year that people like start to like look around. Why am I really here? I'm not doing anything. That's when you need to clip in, make a little bit of an investment somewhere. My biggest mistake for that during coaching lulls or like marriage lulls, like you do all the things, right? You try to counseling and find a second job or do budget. Like you try to do all the things at once, when really if you would just focus on one and make one thing really good, that will bleed into something else. So instead of adjusting your handlebars and your seat and your hire an assistant and all of the things, like do what's the one thing, like if you didn't have to do or that you dread the most, like attack that first. There's a book called Eat That Frog. Have you heard of that? Maybe reread that book. Motivation doesn't stick around. I think there's a quote somewhere that's like, motivation's like bathing or showering or something. You got to do it every morning. Motivation comes for me after we've had success, and success has come for me after I put in the freaking hard work. I mean, I wish there was an easy answer for that. What gears did I change to make that shift from diamond to star diamond? Well, to get to diamond, so my husband and I both quit our jobs right around the same time I had started my fitness journey. So I wasn't actively coaching, and we moved in with my parents because, again, we quit our jobs. And I had just had the baby, and I said, if we're going to make a professional move, we're going to do this now. So getting to diamond for me was strictly about building enough volume to pay to move out of my parents' house. Like, I told my husband that my coach promised me that if I did the things, if I did my vital behaviors, if I continued to do my journey, that I could pay for our mortgage. And I'm super lucky that I have a super supportive husband. And I mean, he's out there, he just finished his workout, and 5 years later, he's super supportive. So to get to diamond was strictly about income. Diamond rank to me meant that I got $18 a cycle. I was on my coach's strong leg. I knew exactly how many cycles I needed. Actually, I have it right here. Cycles I needed to make an income. Star diamond for me, my team name is Team Genuine. Star diamond for me meant that I was able to do that and then teach other people to do the same. And I have a big passion for, like, all the accolades fine for me, but I really want you guys are frozen. Can you hear me? I really want my team to be able to do the same thing. And I would say that over and over to them. Like, I feel like I failed you as a leader if you are not successful reaching your goals. And I just happened to have two people that wanted bigger goals. And just like my coach did for me, if you want to make $1,000, this is what you have to do. That's what we did. And to get to 5-star, honestly, you guys have been coaching 5 years. So just happened to be that the placement for us and the motivation for us in 2018 was there. Some coaches get that in their first 8 months. I think there was a person in the round table that just hit 5-star, and she's been a coach for 10 years. Like, stop looking at all the flashy things all the time. Don't compare yourself to that. Find a vision for what you want for your team, and I promise that everything else will fall into place. Your income is a direct reflection of how much influence you have. Your income is a direct reflection. So my goal was to influence more women and men to achieve their goals. Some of them wanted to lose one of my diamonds lost 136 pounds after she had gained all her weight back from having stomach surgery. She naturally grew to diamond because she lost 136 pounds on our products. What do you recommend for inviting? That's my biggest struggle. I know you said you talked to your coach about training, but anything else? Inviting for me is the easy part. My invites go like this. Hey girl, have you ever considered doing what I do as a coach? And then I shut my mouth. God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I get into trouble when this starts talking more than I listen. The hard part about inviting for me is the after stuff. Either they ignore me and my feelings get hurt, or they vomit all of their personal problems on me, and I am tired from having 2 little boys and a husband and coaching full time, and I don't have enough to give back. Or they have told me, all of the awful things that I am because I'm a Beachbody coach or whatever that is. The invite should be super clear and easy. The follow-up is just having a conversation through that. And it has been, I don't know what science it is, y'all Google it, but it takes 7 times, 7, count them, 7, for people to say yes. So if you're inviting 100 people, that's great. I want to know how many people you followed up with. I asked my team, like, okay, you invited 12 people this week. Great. What's on your follow-up list? And how many times have you touched base with her? Does that answer that? I think the invite's the easy part. Just spit it out. Close your computer, walk away. And then spend time in the relationship with that. Any good advice for finding people who want to run with you? Girl, I have no idea. I think that if any of us in our business found that, we would be like, all of us would be in the Millionaires Club, right? I think finding people who are ready to run with me are the people that hear my heart and know that I'm there for them, regardless if they want to lose 100 pounds or make $100. Like, I don't treat everybody like wanting to be a 2-star coach, because not everybody wants that. I have amazing coaches on my team that are simply there because of the party. And I have amazing coaches on my team that keep us all in line and have spreadsheets and tell me when I'm late to post, and they're not making an income, but that's their job. StrengthsFinders has helped me really see where their goals are aligned and how I can help as their mentor. And then it's up to them. I can't work for them. What's the biggest change you made to get from Diamond? How did I level up? I clipped in. I hired an assistant. I told my team every time we talk, we do team calls twice a month. So I am really big into balancing my bicycle. And I don't want my coaches on team calls 3 of them a week. I want them working their business 3 hours a week. So we do our team calls every other week. And every time I talk to them, I would talk to them about the team's goals and how hard I'm working on my husband's account, or where I'm building my second business center. We talked a lot about volume. And then I ran my first big team retreat, my first Diamond retreat in March. And I invested in a lady who does StrengthsFinders at the corporate level. And she came in and did all of their strengths. And it was so cool. And they left that retreat thinking, I don't have to be Nicole to be a successful coach. I don't have to be Brooke. I don't have to be Ricky. I don't have to be them. I can be me. So that was the leveling up. I invested. With new friends, how do you proceed from them friending or following you leading up to the invite? If they watch my Insta stories, they already know what I'm selling. And if they're my friend on Facebook and have been there for longer than 4 weeks, they already know what I'm selling. So when I send an invite, it says, hey, thanks for supporting my whatever, or thanks for hitting like on my Insta stories, or thanks for watching my goofy dump ranch recipe. Have you ever considered doing an online fitness group with me? Everybody is selling something. Even if you're not in multi-level marketing, when you go out with your buds, what beer do you pick? Everybody's selling something. Ladies, you go to home parties because you want free wine and some hors d'oeuvres and some girl time, but you know that those home parties are selling something. I don't know why we shy away from selling Shakeology. It has been life-changing for me, and probably for you. Energize, hello. All of the things. Give me all of the things. I don't care if it stains all of my cups. So that's how I feel like if my social media is good and I'm sharing my story, when I send the invite, and the friend there, if they get offended, they're not, I don't know. I feel like if someone tells me to go drink Bud Light, we're sitting around with our friends, and I'm not offended when I don't drink Bud Light. Does that make sense? All right, Patrick, what would you tell a coach about volume versus rank if the coach wants a long-term business and total financial freedom for the next 50 years, but they might have dropped rank? So I just did an hour-long call on this last night. Maybe we can meet again. Volume always trumps rank unless it's Diamond, because you're not maximizing comp plan, not at $18 a cycle. So I build my business based on where my volume on my left and my right leg are, and I maintain rank, even if that means the volume from signing a coach challenge back is not volume. I cannot lose that $18 a cycle. I shared it at Super Saturday here in Tulsa 6 months ago. I pulled up my first business center, and I said if I had dropped rank in my first business center, I would have lost $600 in cycle bonus in 1 week. And I said, $4 a cycle for some of us are whatever, it's $4. And I'm like, $600 is a lot of flipping money for us. If I had dropped rank, that's a lot of money. So that's a complicated one. I would say they go hand in hand. But if you're building rank based off of 90 PV coaches, that doesn't do you any good. A hollow rank to get to 5-star, just naturally happened for us. The bonus is nice, but we talk about 500 PV for all of our coaches. 500, not 90, 500. Milan Jensen has a great training on that. Do you invite more to challenge groups or to the business? Do your new coaches have more success if they were a challenger first? I invite to all of the things all of the time I see more success in people who have been challengers first, and then I single them out in the challenge group like, dude, you're posting more recipes than I am, or you are so uplifting. Have you ever considered doing what I do? You're already doing it. So I think that's kind of like a merge together. I do have coaches who sign up now just as coaches because they know that I've coached. Like I talked about my 5-year anniversary for I think like 3 weeks on my social media. Like, how many people stick with a job for 5 years? I'm telling you, it's not very many. And I was a teacher, right? So at 5 years, we got a pin, like a big pin. And I'm like, hey, my 5-year anniversary, like we get much better stuff at that on Beachbody. But I think that's why that's a vital behavior. Being a product of the product is important, so that you can share more. How often do I post on social media? All the time. I don't have a number. I do 9 to 12 Insta stories or 20, depending on my day. I do Instagram once a day, like on my wall, maybe once a day. There's a cool app called Planoly that you can plan out your social media on your Instagram so that you're not like doing a zillion things all the time. Whatever you post on Instagram, stick over there on Facebook. But again, like just like we were talking about riding your bike, like stop. Someone's going to let go of the handle. Like you're going to go. Your pedals are going to go. You just post. There's no perfect way to do this. There's no like perfect shoes or perfect helmet or perfect gloves when you ride a bike. There are some that will fit you for a season. There's some social media that will fit you for a season. There's sometimes you can get away with 1 post a day. There's sometimes you can post 5 or 6 times a day. 4%, y'all know 4% of your audience sees your post. 4. So if you're sitting at 1,000 coaches or 1,000 people on your friends list, on your friends list, it's like 40 people. Just keep posting. We got like 8 more minutes. I know it's late for y'all, but what do you say to people from free groups that you know would love to continue with Beachbody, but they won't invest in themselves? Well, okay, so after our call tonight, if they're not going to invest in themselves, are you going to expect them to clip in? And is that the person that you want to surround yourself with? And I will tell you from someone who's been here and I have pulled and pulled and pulled, that's draining. It's draining as a leader. It's draining on your heart. It's draining for you to see that potential in them. I say you let them go and you bless and release, and when they're ready, they're ready. I wasn't ready. I signed up August 26th. I didn't start actively coaching until January. So August, September, October, November, 6 months later. Mind you, I'd lost 75 pounds. I had 1 billion people asking me what I was doing. And I was so afraid of being judged that it took me a long time. What's the app for Instagram? It's called Planoly. Plano. When I first started, was there one event or 2 things that you heard or saw that had the biggest impact on your mindset? We were sleeping in 1 bedroom with a baby at my parents' house. And I live in Oklahoma, and the teacher's salary here is like, take home is like $1,200 to $1,500 a month. And I knew that wasn't the life I wanted for our kids. And so my coach and I had our Getting Started Right call in January, and I said, I'm ready. I have people asking me, what do I do? And she said the 4 vitals. Like, she literally gave me the list of 4 vitals. And like 2 weeks later, I said, okay, how do I cover the mortgage? And once I was making $1,000 a month, y'all, it didn't make any financial sense for me to go back to teaching here. Plus by that point, right, you've built a team and I'm responsible for them. I've told them that I'm here. We are leading team calls. We're running challenge groups. Like, I can't just disappear. Biggest impact was just, and that changes too. Your why changes. The things that before, I never wanted kids. Now we have 2. Like, I think that changes. And that's okay to not feel, at the beginning of the call, someone said that they weren't motivated. Like, that's okay. You can like put that out in the universe. Like, it's okay to not be motivated. How do you get motivation back? You freaking get on your bike and you go. And when you fall off, hopefully all of you have coaches that you can reach out to. And if it's not your upline, find somebody who's sitting on your left or your right on this call and like reach out. I have a group of 5 of us that I don't know if anybody from anybody else's team, and we're in a thread and we like, oh my God, that launch sucked. Like, how do we make that better? Or like this, it's okay to not be motivated. It's not okay to fall off your bike and like throw the bike away. I think Patrick in here rides a bike. Like $5,000 investment, you're just going to toss it. Man, if you had to invest $5,000 to be a Beachbody coach, I bet our motivation would be a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Like you can't just throw a whole bag of Shakeology down the toilet. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, sometimes motivation isn't there, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it to get back on that bike. Okay, you guys, 5 minutes or so left. Anybody else have anything? I hope that this has had an impact on you. I hope that you leave tonight and you go, I can ride a bike, which means your future team can ride a bike, which means tomorrow morning all you have to do is get on the damn bike. Like, stop waiting for all of the things to be balanced and you'd have the perfect shoes and to have perfect weather to go riding. Just do it. Just start inviting or start posting on social media. Like, I just hope that, I hope I see all of you next year at Summit, and all of you are 2-star, because that's when you maximize the comp plan. Whoever asked me about comp plan, you get 2-star. Yeah, riding a bike. I will not be riding a bike. We sold our bikes, actually, when we moved up here, because I discovered Shaun T was better for me than bicycle riding was. All right, you guys. Is that anybody else before I log off? Okay, well, you guys have a great night.
Thanks so much. So we like to do a special like send off, but I took so many notes. Thank you so much. It was awesome. The biggest thing I think I got from that was when you just talked about needing to adjust your handlebars and how every single person's handlebars are so different. That just struck everything with me, and I think probably for everybody on this call. So thank you so much. All right, guys, we'll do our send off. Let me unmute everybody. I can remember how. Sorry, hold on. How do I oh, shit. I don't see it. Can everybody just unmute yourselves? There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.